Today, it's The Sims 25th anniversary! Just a few more years, and they'll catch up with Sonic! This is CheckPoint.
Welcome to CheckPoint. Let's check a point.
Check to welcome let's. Point a check.
To CheckPoint check. Welcome point to let's.
Let's a check.
Stop that right now.
It's time to wish a humble borfna to The Sims as the franchise celebrates its 25th anniversary next week, and celebrate the news that The Sims and The Sims 2 are getting remastered for PC. This is a big deal because the original Sims game was only ever available on the CD-ROM, and The Sims 2 hasn't been available for download in several years. While The Sims 4 has been around, and it's been on Steam for over a decade, a lot of players want more variety or nostalgia. A wasapoa. After all, where would the Sims franchise be without the option to remove the ladder from the pool or divide your living room into cubicles for all of the amateur tailors working on your clothing brand? Sims players want the spice of life, and they're likely to get so excited over these remasters that they can't decide which of their basic needs to meet and instead pass out in front of their bathroom, hungry and cold. A Goanda Blitz. Unfortunately, console players are more likely to shout "Sassafrol" than "Whipna Choba Dog," since there's no news of the Sims games, new or old, coming to the Nintendo Switch, and no news of the remasters coming to Xbox or PlayStation. Agaranga Hooby Nooby. Am I right, gamers?
Chinese company DeepSeek has released a suite of open-source AI models that are competitive with those from OpenAI, inspiring a great shitting of Silicon Valley pants. DeepSeek's models are significantly more efficient than those from OpenAI, being roughly 30 times cheaper to operate, reportedly able to lie about the number of R's in strawberry while running on desktop hardware. In addition to being a slop spigot that doesn't actually know anything, DeepSeek's models are subject to China's internet regulatory laws, meaning they must embody core socialist values like collective ownership of the means of production, economic equity, and environmental Wait, no, I'm being told they are actually restrictions on answering questions about the Tiananmen Square massacre. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, implicitly trying to explain to the investors who gave him $6 billion 4 months ago why he just got pantsed by a relatively small Chinese team with an oft-reported budget of under $6 million, which is actually the cost of the final training run, not including research, hardware, and power. Sam Altman has claimed that DeepSeek's models were trained on stolen intellectual property, but like his stolen intellectual property. I know, shocking. But remember that for years, American AI boosters have claimed that the only way to train better models is with more computing power and more stolen or cannibalized training data, which means more money, more power, and more water. DeepSeek claims to have trained its model on a relatively modest 50,000 memory-constrained H800 NVIDIA GPUs, and thus was required to hyper-optimize its programming. The V3 paper makes it clear that their engineers were honestly pretty smart in their creation of this indifference engine. Is this good? Bad? Well, it just got relatively cheap and accessible to make sure nobody knows anything anymore. But also the most annoying dudes in tech just got humiliated. So we're coming down on the side of extremely funny, at least for a little while.
In an interview with Save State Plus, Xbox head Phil Spencer said that the multi-Xbox requirement that a game functions on both the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S isn't going away, and furthermore, is good for developers, actually. A reminder that inside you there are 2 Xboxes, one of which is not as powerful, but Microsoft says that your game has to be able to run on both. This, according to devs, is why Black Myth Wukong hasn't seen an Xbox release, because they can't get it running on the lesser Xbox. Larian finally released Baldur's Gate 3 only after getting a special dispensation for the Series S version not to include the co-op mode because they couldn't make it work yet. This rule is undeniably holding the Xbox game library back, but Phil Spencer says that's fine, because other consoles are bad too, specifically mentioning the Switch 2, which we don't know the specs for, and other handhelds like the Steam Deck or the ROG Ally. His argument is that it's good for developers to be forced to make their games function on the second-player Xbox because it'll make the games run better on those other, also lower power systems. Very magnanimous of Spencer to look out for struggling upstarts like Valve and Nintendo.
Donkey Kong Country Returns on the Nintendo Switch in the new Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. And Nintendo couldn't rest in their previous Donkey Kong innovation laurels, oh no. But what could possibly compete with Funky Kong mode? Well, they've taken the co-op mode and made it competitive. Play this game with a friend and you'll eventually notice several levels where the only way to proceed is to bounce off an enemy. But once one of you bounces, the enemy dies and the other player falls to their death and can no longer proceed. It brings back all the classic jostles and bumps of the original Mario Brothers, but this time, you're Monkey Brothers, who are neither brothers nor monkeys. Good job, Nintendo. You always know how to turn a negative into a positive. Hey, just like I did with this story here.
That was CheckPoint. Thanks for watching.
Watching for thanks. Check was point that.
Point that for thanks.
Okay, we're done for the day.
Coming up. Not content with yellow, blue, brown, green, red, purple, gray, and black, Mortal Kombat has a new secret ninja, Pink Floyd. Finding him requires completing up to 37 separate challenges, but he's clearly worth it. Also, if you start fighting at just the right time, the sound of bones breaking lines up perfectly with the Wizard of Oz. You know what was incredibly mind-breaking?
What's that?
Trying to come up with those intro and outro bits.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
Yeah, what I did was I wrote the sentence and then I copied it out, and then every time I used a word, I would bold that word in the sentence again.
I see.
So
Yeah.
I could come up with individual remixes,
Right.
pretty much ad nauseum, but I figured we really only needed 2.5 before people got the joke.
Yeah, I had, and the rhythm was like, the rhythm was good still, too. I like that.
We could have done an extra. I think maybe I could have done maybe I could have done a full response so that Paul could have cut you off after your second go, but
Don't need to beat the dead horse.
No,
I guess.
there's not that many words.
No.
So 2 of the words in the first one in the intro are check.
Right. Yeah.
So you should have gone check at the end. Welcome to Check.
Hey, we're happy to be here, and we're happy that you're here, and we want you to come back, but to like something else that we're doing, because tomorrow, January 31st, is the Ether Drift pre-release. Did I say it right?
Yes.
Yes. Awesome.
Yes. I'm gonna go play Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, with our friends.
Shivam and Magic New Girl.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do fun stuff and make cars go beep beep into the red zone.
It's a racing game, is it?
No. It's Magic the Gathering, but there are racing cars in it.
Oh, I see.
The story for the set is it's a big interplanar race.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'm getting caught up on the lore. Isn't that great?
Oh, yes.
Thank you to everybody who backs us as well. Go to the store to buy merch, store.loadingreadyrun.com. Check out the Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. And for all of you who are backing us on YouTube, you're going to see your names come up here right not when the music starts, but the music will start, and then you'll see your names, and that's fun for everybody. Bye.
We did it.
Lovely. That felt awesome.